Hi, and welcome back to Lizard Studios. Today you are going to be making a clay fish. Yes, it's going to be like a sculpture that we make out of clay. You are going to be kneading the clay and you're going to be scoring the clay to make some slip and then put everything together. Alright, but I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So the first thing that we need to do is get our materials out on the table. Okay, so today you are going to be needing basically clay, okay, and then some other things. But clay is very important, so let's talk about it for just a second, okay? This is terracotta clay. It's a clay that is red, and it's from different places in the world that they have red terracotta, okay, red clay. But clay could also be gray, okay, or it could be a little bit whiter too. And this clay, when it's dry, it becomes like this, the terracotta clay, and then the gray clay becomes like kind of this color, okay? You have to let it dry before painting it, all right? So this is clay. Now, the next thing that you're gonna need is a wet cloth or a damp cloth. That means that it has water in it, okay? It has lots of water in it. And we're gonna keep our clay that we're gonna be using inside this cloth so it doesn't go dry. If it goes dry, it's really bad to mold and we won't be able to be making that sculpture. So we're gonna keep it here wet, okay? Very wet. You're gonna need some toothpicks because we are going to be using these for several things, you'll see. A napkin, and then you're gonna need a tray with water that you can stick your fingers into, okay? And get them wet for that clay. Now, I wanted to tell you that clay is used all around the world, okay, since the beginning, to make plates, to make jewelry, to make different types of things like bowls, and to make cups or mugs to drink your coffee from, okay? And also clay is used to make figurines, okay? For example, this one right here that I bought at Portugal, okay? How do we make figurines? Well, we mold them into the shape that we want and then we paint them very easily, okay? Today we're going to be making a fish, okay? And figurines have been made all around the world, also in many countries, by many cultures, okay? Fish have been made by the Greeks, and in Mexico, little skulls have been made, okay, to celebrate the Day of the Dead. And then in China, little cats and little figurines, and even figurines of people. The figurines could be also realistic or they could be abstract. So it depends on the artist or the artisan that is making that figurine, what they make. Okay, but today I'm going to teach you how to make a simple fish from a pinch pot that we're going to be making. Then we're going to be making coils and we're going to do that. So let's get ready and begin the lesson. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to cut. You need is a piece of clay around this size of your hand, okay? So the first thing that we do is knead the clay. Why do we need to knead the clay? What is kneading? Kneading is making it into a ball, okay? Making it into a ball and taking the oxygen or the air out of the clay. So to knead the clay, you need to put it on the table and we need to press, press, and press. Everything's gonna move, but it's okay. You need to take that oxygen out of the clay, and like this for like around 2-3 minutes. So just watch. Okay, you have this. You're gonna make it into a sphere. Okay, so we're gonna press, 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 and make it into a sphere. Okay, once you have a sphere, okay, in the palm of your hand, what you're gonna do is make a pinch pot. We're gonna begin with a pinch pot, okay? So you take your finger, you stick it in like this, you put it on the table, stick your thumb in the clay, and then we're gonna press to the sides. Press the clay to the sides, and this time we're gonna make the pinch pot a little bit bigger at the bottom, wider, okay, and smaller right here. This is gonna be the mouth of the fish, okay? So look at this. I am going to press at the bottom, but don't press. When I take The pinch pot, this is what I have. I have a pinch pot that is wider at the bottom than at the top. It's bigger at the bottom than at the top. And now I am going to start giving it the shape of a fishy fish, the body of a fish, okay? I'm going to start pressing it back like this, just a little bit. Be careful you don't stick your finger through it, okay? I'm just going to hold it like this, just give it some love to get all those wrinkles out, all right? And now I'm gonna put the pinch pot like this, all right? Like to the side like this, and it's just sitting there, okay? We're gonna start adding to it so it becomes a fish, okay? I think that the first thing that we are going to add is the 2 eyes, okay? So we're going to make 2 pearls, 2 little spheres. Not so little, but you know, really cool. And we're gonna make 2 spheres, okay? More or less like this and like this, okay? And then we're gonna make the lips and like this. And we are going to start scoring. What is scoring? Scoring is making like mud, making a glue, a mud that is, it works like a glue, okay? And it sticks things together. So I'm gonna put the eyes right here and right here, okay? I am going to score right here. Scoring is just making lines that go across each other. It's like cross hatching, okay? For those of you who have been drawing with me, it's like cross hatching. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here, okay? Cross hatch and make some mud. And then you need to take the little balls and you need to press them like this. You need to twist them until you see that they're really strong and they're sticking there, okay? So you twist them. Then with the other one, you're gonna do the same. You're gonna score like this. Now we have the eyes of the fishy fish, okay? If you wanna make eyeballs, you go ahead with your toothpick and you make eyeballs. You make 2 circles, you just draw it on the clay. And then when we add paint, we'll just paint on it inside of it. But then we'll have this little mark. And it's gonna look really nice. Okay? So the next thing that we're gonna do is the lips. We're gonna make big lips for our fish. So we are going to take some clay. I think this 2 pieces, yeah, these 2 pieces are fine. Let me cover this, I forgot to cover it before. Okay, so we're going to just knead this clay in our hand like this, take the air out, and now that we have kneaded it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it into a long, like a snail type, okay? We're gonna make it into a coil, okay? So let's make it into a coil. It's like a little snake. Let me put this here so I could work in front of me. Okay, so your coil needs to be long and it needs to be like a finger wide, okay? What are we going to do? We're going to use this as the lips of the fish, like this, okay? So what we need to do is we need to score, all right? We need to score all around the mouth of the fish. You see this? I am scoring, making little lines, because with the help of these little lines, I'm gonna make slip faster. You see that? And now I'm gonna go around the lips to make that really fast. Okay, now we have the body of the fish and we have the mouth of the fish. When you finish the lips, just make sure you smooth them out like this, you press them in, and you also be able to put things inside of here. For example, pencils. If you want to store your pencils in here, you'll be able to put your pencils in here, or you'll be able to put your paper clips or your toothpicks or your earrings or anything that you want to store in there, you could store it, okay? Another thing that I want to show you is that if you want these eyes to have like little holes inside, what you could do, I have these tools here. These are ceramic tools and they're really good to take out ceramics, to take out a little bit of clay. So for example, this one right here, I could employ to go in the eye and take out the eyeball. And like that, the eye becomes like hollow in the middle and it's just different, see? So I take out, see, the excess in the inside of the eye, and it just becomes hollow, and when I paint it, it's gonna be a little bit different, all right? Now we're gonna make the tail of the fish, okay? The fins and all of that. We're gonna put all this clay together. So let's make the tail of the fish, and then we're gonna make the fins, all right? So now we need to see this excess clay that I have here. I'm gonna use it, why not? But for the tail, yeah, no, it's too little for the tail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a little piece, a bigger piece than that, around here. Okay, so you take your clay that you can mold very well, and we're gonna be making a tail. Now, how do I make a tail here? Oh my goodness, well, it's very easy. You know the shapes of tails, they're like triangles of fish, okay? So we're just gonna make it into, we're gonna knead it first. So see, it's as wide as your finger, more or less. If it's thin, it will break, so don't make it thin, okay? Make it smooth on both sides. And now we're gonna put this here, but it doesn't look like a tail right now, no. So we're gonna cut it into like a tail. Now, how do I put this tail here? Well, I'm gonna need to score, okay? So I'm gonna score here. Okay, so with your finger, what you need to do is to make it smooth here, okay? So it kind of goes into the actual pot, okay? It becomes one, okay? It's very smooth, like this. I'm gonna put it sideways so you could see it on this top camera. Now, the next thing is putting fins. And the fins don't need to be that big, so we're gonna take these little pieces right here, and we are going to make the fins from these pieces. You see how I always take care of my clay? I always cover it. So we're gonna make 2 fins. So I'm gonna score it right here. I'm gonna put it here so it holds down on the floor too, see on the actual table. So I measure and I see where I have to score, and I score here. Okay, so there we go. So now I have my fish with its tail and its fins and its mouth and eyes. And what am I going to do now? The last thing that we're going to do today to our fish is give it some texture, okay? So fish have scales, and I'm going to draw some scales on my fish. Watch. And now that I have finished my scales on the fish, on the fins, I'm going to make some lines to make it look like fins, all right? And now I have finished my fish, and you have finished your fish, and look at that. It's just an amazing fish sculpture that it's still wet, okay? We need to let it dry for next week so we could finish up next week. Okay, what are we going to do next week? Next week we are going to paint. Yes, we are going to be painting our fish because the clay has to dry before you actually paint it. So depending on what kind of clay you have, you could put it in the oven, you could put it in the kiln, okay, or you could put it in the sunshine and let your clay dry. I'm gonna put mine in the sunshine and I'm gonna let it dry, and next week we'll be painting. So let's see what we have done today. First, you made a pinch pot and you press, and then we put the pinch pot to the side, and then we start building the fish. making the eyes, the fins, and then we put some texture on this fish, okay? So like that, when we paint it, it looks like maybe like a goldfish coming out of the water, and then you could use it because you will be able to use it to put things inside. And then you could give it to somebody as a present, you could keep it for yourself on your table, or you could just enjoy it, okay? So just enjoy it. So I will see you next week. Take care of yourself and be very good, okay? Bye-bye.